What's cooking Valhalla today marks the beginning of a brand new series, where I will break down everything you need to know to boost your account and maximize your farming potential. There's a lot to cover, so I will start small. I don't want to overload you with information all at once. Each video will be like taking one step forward, so let's kick things off with step 1, even before you actually start playing. As many of you know, Odin Valhalla Rising is available on both PC and mobile devices. However, there is something called multi-client mode that only PC users can access. I get that it might seem unfair if you are playing on mobile, but that's just how these games are designed. So why should you consider running a second account or even multiple accounts? The more characters you play, the better your progression will be, and let me explain the reasons. Let's kick things off by sharing a bit about multi-client. Multi-client play is officially allowed. You can run up to 2 accounts at once per PC or IP address, I'm not 100% sure. It's not clear yet how this rule will be applied globally, but according to official info, running 2 PC clients at the same time is totally fine. Now if you want even more accounts active at once, what happens? That's possible too. Just use other devices like phones, tablets or extra PCs if you have around your house. You could even manage an entire guild by yourself. So now that everyone knows what's possible with multi-clienting, let's move on. Alright, let's talk about the real benefit. Why play with multiple accounts? The first advantage is forming your own party. Sure, some of you might want to team up with friends or other players in game, but will they always match your schedule? When you're ready for quests or dungeons, or just want to grind in on a specific spot, will they actually be there? That's why having multiple accounts is becoming handy. You can build exactly the party you need at any time. For example, if I choose Berserker as my main, but lack support skills, I can make my second account a Saint for healing and buffs that will boost my farming efficiency. Plus, and this is key, being in a party gives extra buffs that increases total XP and gold earned while grinding on fields or dungeons. Instead of splitting rewards between members, these bonuses stack up. So having all your characters ready whenever you need them beats waiting around for others. And honestly, this is just one small benefit. I've got an even bigger tip coming up next that could seriously boost your main character's progress. Some experienced players out there might be thinking, alright Woods, yeah, maybe you have a point, but what if my alts aren't geared up? Won't weak accounts just slow me down instead of boosting my gains? And honestly, you are absolutely right. That can definitely happen. Real life party members with strong main accounts will always give better results because they're progressing too. Do keep in mind that if you have a difference of 5 levels with those characters, for instance if you're level 30 and those characters are level 23, instead of receiving positive buffs in terms of gain for gold and XP, you will receive a negative buff that will reduce your gold and XP earned by 20%. So if you choose to go down this road, always make sure that those characters will be close to your actual main level. That's gonna become even harder as you progress within the game. I just want everyone on the same page. We're talking about possibilities here without strict limits. For example, let's say I'm grinding in a tough spot as a DPS class. When I solo there, I burn through potions too quickly and can't sustain myself. Yet I really want to farm that area, and if no one else is around to help at that moment, what should I do? That's when my ult comes in handy. Even if it's just on priest or paladin at lower CP, they can still support me defensively, so I can actually grind where I want. However, this should be a subject for another video, if it's truly worth it to farm on higher areas, as your KPM probably will be low, so I'm gonna leave that here. So now that we've covered how parties work and why building your own is useful, let's talk about another big benefit, how these extra accounts directly boost your main character. Alright, let's move on to our final topic, ghost trading. I know many veteran players are already familiar with this concept. It isn't exactly secret in games like Odin Valhalla Rising, but since more similar games are appearing lately, even more players will start using these tactics over time. Here's why it matters. Ghost trading can be abused pretty easily if you're not careful. In fact, that might be one reason we don't have dedicated European servers yet. The rules around monetization and microtransactions in Europe are really strict now. So with things like 15 days refund windows on mobile gaming purchases, it makes it tough for companies to set up fair systems globally. But how does ghost trading actually work? Say I have another account alongside my main one. I make sure both accounts stay healthy in terms of progress without wasting resources or money. Both accounts grind together or separately, it doesn't really matter. They pick up gear drops and crafting materials that can be sold at the auction house. So what happens next? Well, you guessed it. You sell items from your alts at the auction house for gems, the game currency, then use those gems strategically between your account by buying from yourself when the opportunity is right. Now, full transparency. I am not sure if this is technically illegal, according to the game's policy, but ethically speaking, it's definitely unfair to solo account players who can't do this trick themselves. I'm not encouraging anyone to abuse the system, but there are always some who will try to do this anyway. One thing you should consider though, if you sell an item way above its normal price, for example, let's say I will list something worth 100 gems at 10,000 gems, that could get flagged by detection systems monitoring suspicious trades. If that is something that might happen here, as we had with bots on Nightcross. A safer approach might be selling slightly above market value, not so high that it's obvious cheating, but enough for extra gains without drawing attention. For instance, instead of listing an item worth 100 gems, 1000 gems, which could look suspicious, you could list it at maybe 150 or 200 gems instead. Still profitable, but less likely detected as abuse by automated systems. So my question is, where do we draw the line between clever strategy and outright exploitation? And that's a wrap for our today's lesson on multi-accounting strategies. I want to emphasize once again, I'm not here to encourage any kind of exploitation. My goal is simply to share knowledge so you can make informed decisions for yourself about whether or not to use these methods. Looking ahead, my next video will probably cover map exploration, revealing all the areas and finding every chest. After that, I will break down some daily routines and tricks that you need for quests. And don't worry, we will talk about alts, since they are super important. With release day coming soon, I may not have time for many videos before launch, but these guides alone should keep you busy through your first month at least in Odin Valhalla Rising. And a quick note, while non-spenders will get the most out of these tips, even spenders can benefit. A combination of smart spending with mix-maxing is truly powerful. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see ya!